Coconut's one of the main ingredients that Smirks works with. In 2022, we sold over 20 million pounds of coconut products. Granted, there are a lot of products when you talk about coconut. Coconut's actually known as the tree of life. You can use every piece of the tree to do something with. For Smirks, our biggest ingredients with coconut are coconut sugar, coconut milk powder, coconut cream, and coconut oil. Coconut milk and coconut cream are definitely one of the items that are trending right now, and we continue to see a lot of innovation happening with and a lot of growth with. What's nice about coconut milk and coconut cream is that it is a plant-based beverage. It is a non-dairy beverage. It is very, very versatile. In addition to that, when you look at some of the other plant-based beverages, whether it be an almond milk, a cashew milk, or an oat milk, those are all items where you have to take an ingredient after it's been harvested and process it and completely reprocess it further down the line to get to the finished product. Or with coconut milk and coconut cream, it's just part of the processing. When they make these ingredients, all they do is take the coconut meat, they grind it down, and out comes the coconut cream. So you might be asking, what's the difference between coconut milk and coconut cream? And truly all it is the fat percentage. When you grind coconut down, the fat level is between 30 and 32% fat. The most common item used is coconut cream, which is considered at 24% fat. Coconut milk is somewhere between 17 and 18% fat. All this is the base that's 30% fat with water added to it to make it a little bit thinner, depending on what your application is. Some of the cool things we're seeing happening with these are, Starbucks keeps it as a mainstay right now that you can use inside of your coffees or your lattes. Ice creams and yogurts are very popular with them. They react very well when making these things. They make a nice, smooth, creamy texture. And again, you can vary with how much fat you have inside of it to make it a runnier one or a thicker one, depending on what your application is. So that's some of the really good stuff that we see made out of coconut milk and coconut cream. In addition to that, now it's just fun to cook with. It makes really good soups. It's really nice in the vegan world as well, but it's great for people who just want a different flavor inside of their products too. So some of the origins that we see that primarily the coconut milk and cream come from are Indonesia, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, and the Philippines. The packaging options are endless. Our bulk users use it anywhere from 2,000-pound totes down to 400-pound drums, down to 44-pound cases. That's just a bag in the box. Now they have, as we mentioned, the Tetra Paks with anything from a 16-ounce up to a 32-ounce package that's really good for food service, but also just really good to put in your house and use. And again, the beautiful thing about this is it's made into coconut milk or coconut cream at origin, packaged in the Tetra Pak and shipped to the United States. It's not having to go through 2 or 3 different factories, be handled 2 or 3 different times. It's very, very sustainable because there's so many coconuts. So it's a really, really good ingredient to look at using. Another big item for Smirks is coconut oil. And there's several different kinds of coconut oil. There's RBD coconut oil, which stands for refined, bleached, and deodorized. Essentially what is made, how RBD coconut oil is made is they take a crude coconut oil and they run it through a refinement process to make it white, to make it odorless. When they run it through, it removes all the impurities, so it also has a very high smoke point. One of the interesting things about RBD coconut oil is during the refining process, it actually removes the coconut allergen as well. You'll see RBD coconut oil and all kinds of stuff on the store shelves that you might not know about. It's very, very popular for making popcorn. RBD coconut oil is the top oil that people like to use to make popcorn with because of its high smoke point and its neutral flavor. You'll even see RBD coconut oil in your ordinary ice creams. If they take the RBD and they mix it in with a milk, it comes out to a product that's just like heavy cream without having to pay the premium for heavy cream from the dairies. So they'll use RBD coconut oil to give you that rich texture that makes ice cream so creamy and so delicious as well. We sell a lot of RBD coconut oil to companies that cook potato chips in it, that cook popcorn in it, that use it in their baking applications for cookies. We also sell a lot of it into the cosmetic sector. So a lot of soaps and shampoos and lotions and other beauty products are made with RBD coconut oil inside of them. Another kind of coconut oil is virgin coconut oil. Virgin coconut oil is made simply by taking desiccated coconut. So if you can imagine the kind of coconut you just see in the store shelf that maybe you go home and make a coconut cream pie with or a coconut cake, They take the desiccated coconut, they run it through an expeller, and out comes the virgin coconut oil. There's nothing added to it. There's not any heat added to it. The only heat that is produced is from the friction of the expelling machine. And the interesting thing is that the byproduct of making virgin coconut oil is coconut flour. So if you've ever seen coconut flour, that is the byproduct of making virgin coconut oil. So every piece of the coconut is used when they make virgin coconut oil, whether it's used as oil or it's used as a coconut flour. Applications for virgin coconut oil are endless. And as you go to different parts of the world, you'll see that they use it for different things. The Philippines, there's research that shows that it helps with Alzheimer's. There's research that shows that it helps with being bald. I haven't tried it yet. People will use it to brush their teeth with. Personally, I like to use it if I get a sunburn. If I put a little bit of virgin coconut oil on my sunburn, it instantly soothes it, and it seems like it goes away really quick. It's one of my favorite things to use it with. But it's also great if you're just looking to cook something and you want a light coconut flavor inside of it as well. Another coconut oil is MCT oil. MCT oil is a fractionated oil, which is liquid at room temperature. Most coconut
that does math problems, right? It's
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good joke, Jessica. Forgot you were there.
That's what I'm here for the jokes.
Most coconut is solid at room temperature because it's so high in fat. Coconut oil is usually between 65 and 68% fat, so it is solid at room temperature. The fractionated coconut oil is liquid. So probably the most popular thing you'll see it in is coffee. People like to pour it into their coffee. It's very popular for the keto diet. And so that's one of the main applications we see it go into. In addition to that, it's very popular in the hemp world. For when you're making hemp oils, you can extract into the MCT, or also in the marijuana industry too, for when you're making the THC oils as well. So that's what that one is. Then we have one more oil that is referred to as unrefined coconut oil. Essentially what that is a coconut paring oil. So it's made in the same way that virgin coconut oil is made. When you're processing a coconut, there's really three elements to it. There's the shell that gets removed. Then there's a paper-thin brown membrane that we call a coconut paring on the outside of the coconut. And they peel it off with a vegetable peeler. And they peel that off. About 60% of it is coconut meat, and 30 to 40% of it is the paring. So they'll take that and they'll dry it and they'll desiccate it and they'll run it through an expeller and then end up with the paring oil. And the interesting thing with the paring oil is it has all the same characteristics and nutrients that virgin coconut oil has, but it's darker in color, so it doesn't look real good on a retail shelf. But it's also a lot less expensive than virgin coconut oil is. So people who are baking something with it choose to use the paring oil. So if the color doesn't matter, but you want the flavor of the coconut and you want the health benefits, that's when you'll choose to use the paring oil or the unrefined oil with that. Some of the other coconut products that Smirks specialize in would be coconut sugar. Coconut sugar is very, very popular right now. It's very popular because it's very sustainable. It gives back directly to the farmers who produce it, and it's unrefined sugar that tastes delicious. Coconut sugar primarily comes from Indonesia and the Philippines, and the applications are anything you would use sugar in. You can sub in coconut sugar. And
what's it
recently,
taste like, Donnie?
It has a nice caramel flavor to it. Almost like a brown sugar, but a little bit more caramel flavored to me is how I like it. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I think brown sugar, I use it a lot in baking recipes. I'll substitute it for brown sugar, and it's very nice. One of the other things, coconut sugar was one of the first coconut products that I really got excited about. And the thing that I think, in addition to the characteristics you already mentioned, is that it's also a low glycemic index complex carbohydrate. So it's not like any other sugar out there. Even though you can use it as a replacement, that low glycemic index complex carbohydrate makeup adds some of that health benefit to it. To play off of one of my puns earlier, it allows you to have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
So don't have to feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I eat it by the spoonful, just sitting here at my desk. So it's great.
That's why they call you the sugar mama.
Yeah.
And so some of the applications, though, other applications that we see it going into are straight retail packs for people who want it for the store shelves that way, but also works really well to make, vegan caramels out of. People will use it with coconut cream and make a caramel sauce out of it. We see it go into cookies a lot, into granolas a lot, into cereals, even into bars as well. Jessica, what else do we sell coconut sugar for?
Yeah, I was thinking of our cereal manufacturers who kind of pair it even with some of the other, I guess, heartier, healthier items that make them taste a little bit better. You know, going back to the whole healthy food used to taste like cardboard, and now it really doesn't because of ingredients like coconut sugar and you know, some of the different innovations with those types of items. Even coconut milk and cream make things just taste fantastic, and they're still really, really healthy for you.
We'll do a whole podcast on coconut sugar one time when we can bring on a couple of our processors to tell you the stories live from Indonesia and how they got into it, because it's such a cool ingredient, how it's made. It's just a really, really innovative product, and seems to be trending up still too. We continue to see a lot of demand for it, and we see a lot of brands that are switching to it or trying to find ways to use it as well. Seeing it a lot in chocolate applications too. Now they're starting to make a lot of chocolate with coconut sugar too. So, and other things they're doing with it, you know, they're making it into a syrup or a nectar as well that you can use when you want a liquid form for something. And then probably one of the hotter products that's come out in the last few years is coconut aminos. Coconut aminos is where they make a syrup, and then they let it ferment, and they add sea salt to it. And it has that real umami flavor, very much like a soy sauce, without the soy allergen, and also, you know, without refined sugar or anything else added to it. So people who are using the coconut aminos, I've seen it anywhere from, you know, you can put it in soup and it gives you that really rich flavor that you're looking for because it's sweet and salty. But also people making beef jerky out of it where they don't want to use soy sauce anymore. As to marinades, dressings, sauces, it's a really, really cool product to use as well. The coconut aminos are. So
I think a great application for it, like you mentioned, is like a barbecue sauce category or a marinade category, because, you know, those are, you know, items where it calls for sugar. But again, if someone's trying to build a brand around a healthier alternative, it could be a really great option for that. And I know, I don't know how much it's really taken off as far as full steam like some of these other items, but I think some of our projects have called for a more powdered or a more fine granulation or something that's maybe a little bit more soluble. So maybe there's still some innovation yet to be had about, you know, drink category with this and mixing it in with different drink mixes or powders or on the nutraceutical side, I see it go in there often as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then, of course, the last coconut we deal with is desiccated coconut, which desiccated coconut is used every day in everything from granola bars to cereals to baking applications, cookies, macaroons, pet food, you name it. So desiccated coconut's very, very prevalent and still a very popular category as well. Although most of the innovation we see happening right now pertains mostly around coconut milk, coconut cream, and the coconut sugar products. One thing I didn't mention with the coconut milk and coconut cream is, the quick rise of coconut milk powder. And coconut milk powder is made by taking the coconut cream and spray drying it into a powder. And that is being used in anything you can dream of. But a lot of coffee creamers are using it. A lot of nutraceutical things are using it. We even see it in oatmeal cups where, you know, you put the powder in there, you add your hot water, and now it's instantly creamy as well. So coconut milk powder has been a category that we've seen explode in the last really 3 or 4 years. And we continue to see more companies come online and use it. Even in chocolate manufacturing as well, too. They're using coconut milk powder in chocolate manufacturing too. So that's what I'm pretty excited about, that we continue to see a lot of growth in as well.
Yeah, I definitely think it came on into the market from the processing perspective at a fantastic time relative to the pandemic, right? So everybody needed shelf-stable alternatives as they were, you know, going to the grocery stores and kind of making all of the shelves just be wiping everything out, right? Everybody needed just all kinds of different things for their pantry. And I feel like coconut milk powder is a 3-year shelf life. So it's a great dairy option that really packs a punch as far as shelf stability goes. And then it's also very versatile because of the fat content, you know, where you can change it up a little bit depending on the application. It can be creamier and sweeter, or it can kind of have less of the additives and just be more of that straight closer to that single ingredient.
Yeah, I agree. And I've seen some brands even take coconut milk powder and add coconut sugar and cacao powder to make a hot chocolate mix out of it as well, too. So it's been really cool products that are happening with it. So as you guys can see, coconut, again, for us, it's a really big ingredient for Smirks. It's one of our favorites, probably because we really like traveling to these cool destinations where it's made. You know, Nick and I have been to the Philippines several times to see factories there. We've been to Vietnam. We've been to Indonesia 6 or 7 times. We've been to Sri Lanka as well. I don't know about Nick. My favorite part of Sri Lanka is going to the elephant. What would you call it, Nick? Elephant
refuge. The elephant refuge.
Yeah, the elephant refuge. Yeah, where there's hundreds of elephants, and you get to watch them march down to the river, and then they march back up through this town, and then they poop, and then they make stuff out of the elephant dung, and then you buy it as gifts for everyone in the office. At least that's what we do. We're often told they're shitty gifts. Anyways, no, but coconut's really been an item that we've attached ourselves to, and we know really, really well. And again, the applications are really endless with it, and we see a lot of growth in that category still as people continue to innovate with it. And when it comes to plant-based beverages or non-dairy beverages, I really think the coconut milk and the coconut cream are so versatile and so accessible as well. The price points are really good on them. That it's something to really consider using if you're doing any innovation on it right now. It's going to be readily available. There's multiple origins to get it from. It's just a really, really cool ingredient. And the innovations can continue to happen with it too. As we'll continue to see other innovations happen with coconut milk, like we have with coconut milk powder that's come on so well in the last few years as well too. So, but again, so there's coconut milk, coconut cream, coconut oil, desiccated coconut, coconut sugar, coconut milk powders, and coconut flour. So those are all the different ingredients that we deal with on the coconut side of Smirks.
So if you're wanting to include coconut in your products, reach out and we'll help you find a way to get coconut into your next ingredient, into your next product.